Hello, Ivan Frangi here, and welcome to another session of the Persuasion Projects. Today, I want to go on a little bit of a rant, and my rant is that everywhere I turn, I see people who've got projects going to get more leads. And I get very angry about that. And the reason I get angry, I'm going to share with you in the next few minutes. This is probably not going to be too long a video, but what I want to do is to give you some really salient facts, how you can get more business without changing anything you're doing. Now, the only proviso is you have to have some kind of lead source. If you've got some kind of lead source and a reasonably regular flow, then this is the program for you. I'm not worried about generating leads. That's another program. There are bundles and bundles of leads out there. If you know where to look for them, that's another program. So in the few minutes that I want to give here is we're going to get down to how you can do more business with the opportunities that you already have. And as usual, I'm going to be using my slide deck and also my iPad, and that's what we're going to do. So let's have a look at the slide deck. So this is about how you double your sales. And doubling your sales isn't that hard. The challenge is, and this is the real challenge right now, the challenge is that a lot of people are saying, well, hang on a sec, I've got the leads are leaking out of my business and I'm under real pressure to get some business. And because of all this digital face-to-face stuff, it's much easier for them to say, yeah, I don't know, I want to think about it, I'll put it off. Not necessarily now, I might do it a bit later. So we're going to have a chat about how you can make that better. And what I want to do is to give you a look behind the scenes. I want to take you behind the scenes because there are a couple of things that are really, really important. So where do we start? Well, we start with our Sales Zoom project model. And the Sales Zoom project model you can see there, we've talked in previous videos and other videos that I've done about this session here, which is how you involve, how you commit, and how you cement. But the challenge that really gets missed a lot of the time is the transition between going from present here to profit here. That's one of the challenges. How are you going from present to profit? So how are we going to move in the direction of making more money? And that's really, really important. So let's have a look at how this works in practice. Let me use my iPad to demonstrate. So when we have a sales operation, what we've got are a number of layers of this operation. And so what we do is we say, okay, we will put some leads in the top of our funnel. And I think that the funnel is the wrong name for this. I'm going to show you why I think it should be an hourglass. But let's put some leads in. But when we put the leads in, there are some things that happen. Firstly, let's say that we put 100 leads in the bucket, okay? If we put 100 leads in the bucket, here is the big challenge. So let me just show you this way of looking at the model that you saw as a square earlier, or as a rectangle earlier. So we've got the same thing, the prepare, the present, and the profit. That's still there. And in previous programs, we've talked about moving the gap from what do you do when you're going from prepare to present? And then what do you do that's all about relevance. How do you prepare so that it's relevant to the people you're going to present to? Then when you're presenting, if you're going to make a profit, you better have some reasons for them to move forward. And here's the bit that gets mixed. This is the behind the scenes stuff that many people miss out on because they don't do a deep enough dive. We're going to do this quickly. And that is the ratios. The ratios is the number of leads you get in versus the number of sales you get out. Now, that's the simple way to do it. But if you really want to attack this the best way possible, oh, excuse me, better have a cup of tea. If you really want to attack this the best way possible, what you have to do is to understand what's between the lead and the sale. Okay, so let's have a look at what that is. And we were starting to have a look at that here. First thing that happens, you get some leads. Great. And the next thing that happens is you get a whoops, that's the wrong one. Okay, we can change that. You get a positive first contact. Now that is somebody who will chat to you, somebody will say hello to you, somebody you'll talk to, okay? Or somebody you can get in connection with and end up starting a dialogue. That's a positive first contact. The next thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have some kind of discussion. Let's call it a chat for ease of what we're doing. In other words, we start with, hey, can I have a chat to you, or can I be in contact with you? Yes. Then you have some kind of discussion. Now, remember, the world that I play in is the world of long-term, high-value relationship selling. Tea was too much. High-value, long-term relationship selling for people that are selling services, so consultants and coaches and business owners who have a non-tangible product. They're selling a service. Okay, so next thing we do is we have a chat. The thing that we do after that is that we make a presentation. So we present. Okay, that's all good so far. You get a chance to tell people what's going on, have a discussion, find out whether they're for you, whether you're for them, all simple stuff. The next thing that happens is that there are some what I call pending. And the pending are what I call, they're kind of like eggs. And when I say eggs, they're kind of waiting to hatch, and you're trying to warm them up to make sure that they get to the position of hatching. And of course, when they hatch, that's called a sale. And a sale is a really, really good thing. We all love the sale because the sale means the dollars. Okay, so that's all good. But let me just have a look at that a slightly different way, because here's where you can really get some traction if you drill down past, I got 100 leads, I made a number of sales, because this game here is all about loss. So let's have a look at this. Let's say you put 100 leads in. That's fair enough. Now, let's say you ended up with 60 positive contacts. Okay, 60 people said, I'm happy to chat to you. Whatever your numbers are will be your numbers. I'm just using some numbers I made up before because I've already done the calculations because I'm not that smart to do it in my head. Okay, so of those people that say, yeah, I'm happy to have contact with you, let's say you get 50 people to chat to you. Okay, good, fine. And you end up having, that's a discussion. You end up presenting and saying, yeah, I'm happy to, talk to you more fully and find out about what you do with 40 people. Okay, then you have some pending decisions from 30 of those people. Okay, and let's say that at the end result of that, you make 20 sales. And that's kind of, it's a bit on the low end. The normal range has been, before COVID, the normal range has been, one's not there, one's no good, C3, sell one. So it was generally around 30%. What's happening now is that I've noticed with a number of clients that because of digital, the numbers are dropping slightly, but I'm going to talk to you about this is about how you raise that. So the challenge with this is that this is all about loss, because every time you start here, every time you go to the next level, you are losing opportunities. So what can you do to enhance the opportunities that you have? Okay, well, let's have a look at this a slightly different way. And I'll lay it out across the page rather than the way that I've done it. So we've got 100 leads. And then we have positive first contact. And we said there were 60 of those. We have a discussion or a chat with 50 of those people, okay? And we have a presentation. We actually get to present and, pitch our story, tell our story to 40 of those people. And then we have a pending decision for 30 people, and we make 20 sales. And let's say those sales are valued at, the dollar value is $1,000, okay? So that means, gee whiz, if I move this across a bit, let me see if I could just move this across a bit. Okay, that can go to there. And that, I just need a bit more space here. That can go to there. So let's say that our sale value, our dollar value, is now $20,000. Is it fair enough? 20 sales. Okay, so here's where the case study comes in, because what we need to do is we need to have a look at how do you drill down under those numbers. But what I'm going to do is to assume that you can't do anything about the number of leads you've got. You're not going to spend another dollar on leads. Now, I understand I'm using an arbitrary number of 100. 100 could be a month for you. It could be 3 months for you. That's fine. This isn't about the speed of the leads. This is about what you do with them. Because what I'm finding is that so many people are saying to me, I need more leads. And here's my problem with that. It's what I call the outboard motor theory of selling. And the challenge with the outboard motor theory of selling is that it's a false rule. So if you have let's say you have a boat, okay? So let's say you have, I'm a really bad drawer, but you've got a big outboard motor with a propeller on the back here, on the back of your boat. Okay, and here's your boat. And let's say this is a 50 horsepower motor. And let's say that means that your boat goes, well, actually, let me do it slightly differently, easier this way. Let's say that's a 100 horsepower motor and your boat goes at 50 knots. Okay, so here's the question. If you put 2 outboard motors on the back of this, so if you added another outboard motor and you put it on there and it had another little propeller, you can see I'm a crap drawer, would your boat go twice as fast at 100 knots than it did, that should be a T in there, 100 knots, would it go twice as fast as it did when it had 1 outboard motor? And the answer is no, it will not. And it's the same thing when you're looking at leads. If you have a situation where you are not absolutely nailing every phase of every opportunity, this is when we design customer experiences. That's another program. But if you design it the right way, what happens is when you make, I'm going backwards a bit, your boat won't go twice as fast with 2 motors. And the same thing happens with business. If you have 100 leads coming into your business, and let's say your conversion rate we had a look at up above is 20%, if you put 200 leads in your business, will you get, so that's 20 sales, will you get 40 sales at the same 20%? And the answer is no, you won't. And the reason is if you don't have your systems and everything ready and they're not performing at maximum peak performance, what happens is the money that you're spending on getting these extra leads is not being converted into new business. Now, that's not just my theory, by the way. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been a sales manager. I had a sales team of 15 salespeople. We were running an $800 to $900 million budget in financial services, and we knew that was the case, unless we got them really, really honed in on what they were doing with their leads. Another story. I don't want to prove it to you now. It can be proved, but this isn't the place. So what happens here? Well, let me show you what's possible, and let's do it in green because green's a good color for things. So we're not going to change the 100 leads. What we are going to do, though, is we're going to have a look at what happens if you get better at doing things at each stage of the process. So if you get better at saying, okay, well, I'm going to put out better lead messages. I'm going to put out better messages to get people involved with my program. I'm going to make sure that what I put out has maximum relevance to my particular market. If you do that, but let's say you're not going to do that with everybody because everybody said, we want to double our sales. Well, not going to work. So why don't we just get better with 1 in 5? Would that be enough? Just 1 in 5? You don't have to get better with everybody, just 1 in 5. What would happen then is, in this situation here, your number would go from 60 to 72. 1 in 5. It's multiplied by 1.2. 1.2, if I can figure out how to write that properly. So that's what you've got there. You're saying, I'm going to do better. Now, if that's all you did, what would the numbers look like? Well, that's an 83%. Don't worry, I've already done this before. That's an 83% rate from there to there. So this number would be 60. You'd have 60 discussions or chats. You would present now to 48 people, all because you made this change here. You got better at your lead message to be more relevant. Okay, what would happen then is you would get 36 pending decisions and you would make 24 sales if you did nothing else. All you did was concentrate on your lead message. So you're not getting any more leads in, but the leads you're getting in are better because you've targeted more effectively. That would mean at the same $1,000, you'd end up with $24,000 worth of business. So you've had an increase of $20,000 to $24,000, which is a pretty good increase. That's a fifth. It's a 20% increase. Now you'd say, okay, 20% increase, you did 20% better up here. Therefore, you'll do 20% better down there. Okay, makes sense. So let me just move my boat because I've got to move my boat out of the way a little bit. Okay, that's fine there. Now, I'm not going to do every line that you would need to do. But what I can do is to show you if we said this is 1, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Okay, because the pending to there, well, I'll explain to you why that I'm not doing that one in a minute. But let's say we did 5. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 improvements. Okay, 5 improvements. The first improvement we already know would give us a result of $24,000. No extra leads. If we then said we're going to fix our chats and discussions, that would mean that that number would go up to $29,000 in sales. If we did number 3, in other words, we got to present to more people because we got better at doing that, 1 in 5 only, what would happen is you would end up a number there of 34,000. Whoops, there's the dollar sign there. There's the 34,000 there. It's really hard to write, think, and speak all at once. Okay, so the next thing that would happen is you would say, okay, well, let's do number 4 and we'll warm people up better to make sales. Okay, we can do that. That would be $41,000. And if we got them to buy a bigger product, that's the other thing that we can do. We can get them to say, okay, instead of the average sale being $1,000, we can get them to buy more, 1.2, not a whole lot, but that's okay. That would mean that that number would go up to $49,000. And you haven't created any extra leads. Now, there is a process in how you do that, and that's part of what we can help you with. Here's the important part. Whether we help you or not doesn't matter. We'd love to, but whether we help you or not doesn't matter. The thing that you have to do is that you have to have a look at these ratios here. These ratios are the ones that will make or break your business. Once you get those ratios right and you start to track them, and most businesses, when I say most businesses, this is my educated business guess, but 85, 87% of businesses, something like that. 1 in 15, 1 in 12, if you want to put it that way, actually do this, and I'm probably not even, it's not even that high. With all of the opportunities available now with all the CRM systems, you can do it. The thing is that most people just look at this and they go, okay, we started with 100 leads. We made 20 sales. So we made $20,000. We need more leads. We need more of those. We need to increase that. And the challenge is that's really expensive. As we found out from the speedboat, won't make your business go faster. Now, there's a couple of other things you can do. You can put in different types of leads. So you can put in referrals. And you can put in, let me do it in a different color. You can put in, also, you can put in repeat business. Now that will dramatically increase the conversion rate that you have because referrals, clearly, repeat business, clearly. But here's the thing that most people also don't get. And I'll do this fairly quickly if I can. Actually, can I get rid of all of that at once? Yes, I can. Okay, so let's just move this out of the way. Okay, so let's put that there. That'll be fine. Here's what I think happens. And what I think happens, well, it's not what I think happens. I know this happens. Business is not a funnel. Business is an hourglass. And what most people miss is that when you are having a look at your hourglass, most people stop at the funnel and they go, okay, well, I made some sales. Now, a lot of people will look past that, but not in any systematic way. So let's say you now have 100 clients. Your client's going to be broken into two groups. The client group, the clients generally, and then you've got your MVCs and your MGCs. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You can have a chat to me about it. This is where you find your potential new business, and it is here in the middle where there are lots of opportunities that often remain untapped. And the reason they remain untapped is we don't go searching for them in the way that is, what would you call it? Systematic. Okay, so your MVCs, we already know those. Those are the green ones. We love those green ones because they are the very exciting, most valuable customers. We all know those. Generally runs at the 80-20 rule, 20% of the customers, 80% of the dollar revenue, okay? And then in the middle, there's the group called the MGCs. And your MGCs are your most growable customers. Now, what does growable means? Growable means that these people have the opportunity to become valuable customers if you nurture them the right way and find the right kind of people in there. They have a profile, they have a need, they already are doing business with you so you can get to them, they will talk to you, and you have opportunities to increase what they're doing with you. So what you do, this was a game of loss up here. This is a game of gain. Because what you can then do is you can say, okay, of my clients, who potentially could be growable? And in my growable, who could potentially could be valuable? Answer, you'll have to go and have a look for them and make sure you get your statistics. You don't need to double your leads. What you do need to do is to make sure that you're leveraging every opportunity with your leads, because in a digital world, three things happen. Firstly, it's much easier to track. Secondly, what you can do using a lot of the latest software and development that happens with voice technology and a couple of other things, if you want to know about them, give me a call, is you can track your behavior metrics. We've talked about that in the previous session. You can track the behaviors that make you good or your people good. It's really easy to do. So you can make sure that digitally you can do one, you can do two, you can track your behavior metrics. And the third thing that you can do is you can be much more targeted about the steps you take without spending all the time on marketing. A lot of people waste a lot of time trying to get their marketing right, when actually what you can do, everything here is in your control. Everything from there down is in your control. The challenge is the market can be fickle. What you do, you can manage. So I'd rather see you manage things and really make sure you get a big bang for your buck than go out and pour money into the marketplace where you may or may not get a response. If you need any help with any of that, give me a call. I'll put my email address here. It's Ivan F at, if I do the at symbol properly, the Persuasion Projects, because that's what we do, .com. Why do we call it projects? Because projects have a start, they have an end, and they have milestones in between. Our project that we really are embarking on is becoming really, really getting some great traction, is our screen selling program, is how to Zoom your sales. How you do this to help people make better connections because you're prepared, you are presenting well, and you are making profit. If you want any help with that, let me know. It's been great. Thanks very much for spending a few minutes with me. Really appreciate it. Bye.